September 1st, 1939, a date that changed the course of human history. At dawn, the German war machine rolled into Poland, unleashing a conflict that would engulf the entire world. This was the moment World War II began. To understand why Germany invaded Poland, we have to go back to the years following World War I. The Treaty of Versailles, signed in 1919, had left Germany humiliated and economically crippled. The once powerful empire was forced to disarm, give up territory, and pay enormous reparations. Resentment brewed among the German people, resentment that Adolf Hitler would later exploit. By the early 1930s, Hitler had risen to power, promising to restore Germany's pride and strength. He rearmed the country in secret, defied international agreements, and began expanding Germany's borders. First, he annexed Austria in 1938, an event known as the Anschluss. Next came Czechoslovakia. By March 1939, Hitler had taken it too, without firing a single shot. But now his sights were set on Poland. Hitler's main goal was to unite all German-speaking people and gain Lebensraum, or living space, for his growing empire. Poland, sitting between Germany and the Soviet Union, was his next target. One particular issue fueled his aggression: the city of Danzig, modern-day Gdansk. It had been declared a free city under the League of Nations after World War I, but Hitler demanded it be returned to Germany. When Poland refused, Hitler made his move. He signed a secret pact with Joseph Stalin, the Molotov-Ribbentrop Pact, in August 1939. Publicly, it was a non-aggression treaty between Germany and the Soviet Union, but secretly, it divided Eastern Europe into spheres of influence. In short, they agreed to carve up Poland between them. At 4:45 a.m. on September 1st, 1939, German forces launched their attack. It began with the battleship Schleswig-Holstein firing on the Polish garrison at Westerplatte. Moments later, Luftwaffe bombers filled the sky, raining destruction on Polish cities, railways, and communication lines. German tanks, part of the new and terrifying military strategy called Blitzkrieg, or lightning war, rolled across the border. The Polish army, though brave, was unprepared for such speed and coordination. Within days, German divisions had penetrated deep into Polish territory. Despite being outnumbered and outgunned, Polish forces fought valiantly. The Battle of Westerplatte lasted 7 days, Polish soldiers defending a tiny strip of land against overwhelming odds. In Warsaw, civilians joined the fight, building barricades and resisting street by street. But the German war machine was relentless. Air superiority, mechanized divisions, and brutal tactics quickly shattered Polish defenses. Still, Poland's courage in the face of impossible odds inspired the world. 2 days after the invasion, on September 3rd, 1939, Britain and France declared war on Germany. The alliances formed after World War I had finally been tested, and Europe was once again at war. However, despite their declarations, Britain and France took little direct military action to help Poland. This became known as the Phony War. While the Western Front stayed quiet, Poland was left to face the German assault alone. As if things weren't bad enough, on September 17, 1939, the Soviet Union invaded Poland from the east. According to the secret agreement with Hitler, Stalin claimed the eastern half of the country. Caught between two powerful enemies, Poland's fate was sealed. By early October, Polish resistance collapsed. Warsaw surrendered on September 27th, and by October 6th, the last organized forces were defeated. In just over a month, Poland was wiped off the map. Germany and the Soviet Union divided it along the lines they had secretly agreed upon. Millions of Polish civilians now lived under brutal occupation. Under German control, terror reigned. Executions, deportations, and the persecution of Jews and political opponents began almost immediately. For many historians, this was the true beginning of the Holocaust. Meanwhile, Britain and France prepared for a long and devastating war. Hitler had gambled, and for the moment, he had won. News of the invasion shocked the world. In America, isolationist sentiment was strong, but the seeds of involvement were planted. In Asia, Japan watched closely, planning its own conquests. The invasion of Poland didn't just mark the beginning of World War II, it marked the collapse of peace, diplomacy, and trust in the modern world. The invasion of Poland also taught the world the terrifying potential of Blitzkrieg warfare, fast, mechanized, and merciless. It would dominate the battlefields of Europe for years to come. It also showed how quickly freedom could be lost when aggression goes unchecked. By the end of World War II, Poland would suffer more than almost any other country, losing 6 million of its citizens, half of them Jewish. Yet, despite it all, Poland's spirit never died. Resistance movements formed underground, and Polish forces would later fight bravely alongside the Allies from the skies over Britain to the beaches of Normandy. September 1st, 1939, the day Germany invaded Poland, was the day the world went to war. It was the moment when ambition, hatred, and ideology set fire to an entire planet. But it was also the beginning of countless acts of courage, sacrifice, and resistance. The lessons of that dark day still echo through history, reminding us that peace is fragile and freedom must always be defended.